recorded. You may all have heard, and you can always access the recording in our YouTube channel, and you can always access the YouTube channel also from our LinkedIn channel. Okay, so Innoversifies is nature-based business model and emerging innovations to enhance carbon farming initiatives while preserving biodiversity, water security, and soil health. This is a very ambitious project, and you're going to see how we're coping with it. So, how did it come to Innoversifies in the beginning? We already identified, for example, that we have the climate change, water scarcity, and food supply and biodiversity loss linked to some of the solutions that we can provide as one single project. And to tackle these gaps, we try to address in different types. This is a very holistic project, as you see, based on innovation, but also in knowledge. And to do that, we gathered 20 partners right now that we are in a project that is co-funded by the I3 instrument from the European Commission. Basically, these technologies, in a nutshell, we have a desalination, mycelium, satellite, and space technologies. We have living hubs, living labs to test them out, and we also have some scaling solutions that you're going to see up next. So these are some of all of our partners in different regions in Europe. So our objectives in terms of the project. So the first is our carbon farming technology platform. So we have different technologies, four to be more precise, that are being validated in our living labs in Greece, Italy, Spain, and Belgium. And we are attempting to boost CO2 uptake, freshwater production, soil restoration, and biodiversity. At the same time, we have this second objective, which is to accelerate the cutting-edge carbon farming technologies in Europe with a minimum of TRL6, which is our acceleration program that we're promoting today, in SMEs in eligible regions. As a matter of fact, all of them in Europe are eligible in regions, and boosting European carbon innovation. So how we're going to do that? The carbon farming technology platform. So we have a focus here in different initiatives and reforestation. And here into this carbon farming technology platform, we try to transform it not only to test our technologies, but also to create a highly replicable and scalable business model based on our technologies. And these are two different parts of the project. So the first are the technologies. We have, for example, using AI and satellite monitoring, we can measure the carbon capture in our tree plantations that we have in our living labs. And we can also see what's based on AI, some information about the plants that we have. Then we have our desalination technology. This is the mangrove that we call that increase availability for irrigation by capturing salt water and then extracting the salt and having fresh water specifically for irrigation. And this irrigation would occur in our fourth technology kind, which is the mycelium one, which we have different pots made of mycelium in a vertical way, not horizontal, so that we have more soil availability at the same time that it allows for the desalination technology to actually work better. And as in an inclusion of all the different technologies, we can see about the carbon capture and also about the soil health and the water available. The second part here is the acceleration program itself. So by the acceleration program, as I mentioned, it's the fourth cohort that we're having, and it's also the last one. And we're trying to find the highly innovative carbon farming technologies providers in business here to provide you with the acceleration program, and then allow you to participate in the interregional market uptake hub, which is a platform that we're launching in order to facilitate business opportunities between different types of stakeholders in this sector. Finally, we also have the peer-to-peer platform, which is in a specific solution, innovative solution that we're putting up there based on distributed ledger technologies, mainly blockchain technology, with a peer-to-peer way of operation in a platform that will allow you to have a certainty that your carbon credit certificate is indeed valid and it is indeed real. This integrates our holistic approach in terms of how we're dealing with one, technologies, two, innovation, and three, to provide more availability of the certificates. And it's all being tested in our living hubs. In our living hubs, we have not only the tree plantation, but we also have different technologies in different living hubs, according, of course, to the climate conditions, in which these local partners are testing them out and seeing how it works to provide us with invaluable insights. So here's one in Tuscany. We have another one in Attica, another one in Belgium, in Autigny, and final one in Castile Leon, in Spain. So to dive further into what's out there in terms of carbon farming, I'm going to give the floor to Andrea now. Andrea, please.
Thanks, Felipe. Yes, I'm Andreas from Good Carbon. Good Carbon is a carbon project developer based in Berlin, in Germany, and we work with projects across the globe. And my role today is to make the link. What's the contribution of carbon farming and carbon farming related technologies to the EU climate targets? Because that's the wider picture we are embedded in. Next slide, please, Felipe. Yeah, I think that it's a little bit of a complex slide, but it shows really a lot. What we see here is the amount of carbon emissions which are emitted annually in the European Union from 2015 to today, and a projection up to 2050. And the highest figure on the left-hand side, 4,000 means 4,000 million tons, so 4 billion tons CO2, which had been emitted way in the past. We're now down to around 3,000, which means 3 billion tons. And the aim is to become climate neutral, net zero by 2050. And if you read the news, there have been a lot of discussions in the European Union how to define the interim targets, 2030, 2040, to reach this pathway. And what we really see on this chart are two things. One is there are a lot of sectors where the European Union is very confident that we will make it down to zero, which the energy supply industry, the building sector, heating in the buildings, the transport sector. These are all these sectors which are managed through the European Emission Trading System, ETS, and that's a kind of different type of carbon market. And then we see that the orange one, it's agriculture, which is difficult to reduce in some aspects. But now the interesting part is where comes carbon farming and the type of nature-based solutions we're talking about into play. It's that these are ways how to actually create carbon sinks, which means to take carbon out of the atmosphere and to create carbon pools, which store the carbon in the soil, in the biomass. And that's the green one, which is kind of below the zero line. And the aim is to reach like about 500,000, like 500 million tons annual carbon sequestration through land-based solutions. And the EU calls them LULUCF. It's land use change, and forestry. So it's everything about regenerative agriculture, peatland restoration, sustainable forestry. These sectors should provide these around 300 to 500 million tons annual carbon sequestration. Maybe next slide, please. And if we look at what are the different contributions of the different land use sectors, we see on this chart the zero line, it's the bold one, and everything below is good, which means there's an annual carbon pool which is created, and everything which is above the line is not that good, which means we still have sectors where we have an annual surplus of emissions every year. So the blue one, this is like peatlands. The orange one is some agricultural sectors. And the big green one, which is the main part of the carbon sinks we're creating, it's the forestry sector. And to meet the EU target from these sectors, which is 310 million tons per year, every year, we see it's very challenging because the forestry sector is not contributing as much as it did in the past to sequester more carbon every year. We have droughts, we have more harvesting of biomass for bioenergy use, we have climate stress. So there are a lot of factors which make it tough to meet these targets. That's why innovative solutions to carbon farming to cultivate more carbon through the land use sectors is that important. And we can switch to the next slide. Oops. Yes. And that's where the voluntary carbon market comes into play, which is interesting for anyone who works with carbon farming solutions or carbon farming related technologies. So if you're engaged in solutions related to regenerative agriculture, to sustainable forestry, to peatland restoration, and all the tools you need to measure carbon, to assess the carbon, then the carbon markets could be a role. On the right-hand side, you have what the EU calls permanent removals, carbon stored in products through wood, for example, biochar technologies, where you use pyrolysis to turn biomass into biochar, which stores carbon in the soil, or also technology-driven energy production technologies like BECCS, which have an added carbon capture and storage technology. They all use biomass and therefore are linked to the agricultural or forestry sector. And this market to finance these type of projects is more and more empowered by the EU policy. It's still in the making. The EU is working on this carbon removal certification framework to create a unified quality scheme for carbon credits created in Europe. And there will also be a European-wide registry. The European Union just announced last month to create a buyers club for carbon credits made in Europe. So to put together companies and development banks to create more planning security to purchase carbon credits to finance these type of projects. There's a discussion still ongoing whether there may be a new segment in the European emission trading system to include negative emissions through biochar or through the bioenergy carbon capture and storage specs, which would create a compliance market, like a guaranteed demand for those type of carbon credits. And last but not least, we need to also to add that there's a lot of things going on, but there's some downsides. The European Union does not accept to trade carbon credits generated in Europe on international markets. Of course, the EU wants to claim the credits for its own climate targets. And there's not a strong push for carbon credits which are non-permanent. That means credits from nature-based solutions like regenerative agriculture, forestry. They have a little bit of a challenging situation on the policy side. Overall, maybe just the last slide. The carbon markets are really an important tool to boost innovative solutions in carbon farming. It helps to boost technologies. The market is growing quickly. It's still small in Europe, but it's growing exponentially. It's more and more benefiting from public endorsement. And that's kind of the policy setting where the Inno4CFI's project is embedded in to help boost the carbon farming in order to boost the innovation technology and to create new financing instruments to make it work. Thanks a lot. That was my brief overview of carbon markets and carbon farming in Europe. And I hand over, I think, to Mikhail.
Thank you, Andreas. All right, so my name is Mikel Oleaga, and I am the representative and project manager for Impact Hub Athens. And I will introduce what the acceleration program consists on, which this is the call for the fourth cohort. Next slide, just a brief presentation of who we are in Impact Hub Athens. You can go also to the next one. We are a global network. We are the sort of Greek chapter of a global network of impact hubs, which has a presence in over 100 countries. Actually, right now we're in 120 countries across the world. 120 locations across the world in 65 countries. It's a network that has been growing for the last 15 years. And our aim is to achieve an impact of 100 million people impacted by 2030. But how we do this, we are trying to, we structure our activity in three lines: inspiring, connecting, and enable. We inspire by showcasing, by example, and by showcasing models and examples of people who can achieve a change, a social and environmental change through entrepreneurial action. We're also connecting, so we're building ecosystems for change. Um, whoop. And also the third strand would be to enable through programs and participation in programs like this, and through incubation, acceleration, and again also the ecosystem building and supporting these change makers. Um, in the case of Impact Hub Athens in particular, um, we have been already active for over 10 years, which we have involved already over 27,000 professionals in our different programs and activities, 1,000 ventures. We have allocated funds to ventures for over 1 million euros through our programs, and we have had through this journey over like around 1,500 partners with whom we have collaborated in our programs. So this is the introduction of who we are, and let me tell you about important things, which is the acceleration program. Later on, you will be able to have the chance to clarify all your questions. This is a 3-month Taylor acceleration program, which is designed to all mainly for companies in the carbon farming sector, but any green tech company is welcome to participate, to help them advance from TRL 6 technology into TRL 9 to go into market and be fully operational. For this, we are also supporting you through expert guidance, such as Andreas, for example, in the support through the carbon removal and carbon farming regulatory framework of the European Union, and the regulation for certification methodologies of these activities, which is a very unfolding right now and changing. We will also account with the participation of people from the Commission who will help us to share the news and how is this unfolding as it goes on. And also the third part is the opportunity to participate in this interregional market uptake hub that Felipe has mentioned, which is this pan-European network marketplace, this platform where you will be able to showcase your technology and to engage with technology providers, with technology seekers, with other partners, network, and foster a community. These ecosystems that we're trying to build, and also to capture investment opportunities. So so who can apply to this program is any small and medium enterprise or a startup, as is defined at the EU level. The only requirement is that it's established in one of the EU member states, and that it's developing any carbon farming or green tech solution. We will mention later some examples, but it's quite a broad scope. And the other main requirement is to have some kind of track in terms of the technology readiness level should be at level 6 or higher. So your solution must be a working prototype tested in relevant conditions. You should have a demo. You should have because what we're going to do is to help you to transform this into operational product and company, and take it to market. Next slide. So think about priority sectors where we're looking companies to participate are monitoring, reporting, and verification, data and certification infrastructure, involves sensors, involves AI, satellite, etc. Companies in regenerative agriculture solutions, also automation and urban farming, also biomass conversion, valorization, this BECCS bioenergy with carbon capture and storage, agrivoltaics, also smart agriculture, including software, hardware solutions, aquatic systems and irrigation, also hardware and software solutions. Also includes mineral carbon capture, biochar, etc. And for sure, of course, platforms or companies that are targeting the finance market, the carbon markets, and how to uh, promote projects in this sense and allocate investment and risk. Um, how we're going to do this? This is a plan as a 3-month program. It's over 15 hours, more like 20 hours, tailor support. It starts with the diagnose clinic sessions. That will help us to assess what is your readiness level, your and your needs that will fit the acceleration program, and to also connect you with the right stakeholders and experts. And there will be also, well, and also at the investment level. I mean, I will explain in the next slide, but there are three core modules. One is business planning and strategy, where we will talk about unique value proposition and understanding the environment, governance issues, team issues, market trends, etc. The second is financial planning and management. You will like learn and dive into the essentials of financial planning and forecasting, etc. And the third one is on sales and market strategy. And on top of that, we will also be focusing on investment readiness. So at the beginning, there will be an initial investment session, investment clinic with a professional VC or investor. And the program will, and towards the end of the program, we will focus more onto how to prepare a pitch in investment, an investment pitch, exactly how to prepare your deck, and it will finalize with a demo day in front of a committee of investors. And the last component is this carbon markets and regulatory framework, where you will also have sessions with experts on the field, with public officials to dive deep into these aspects. This is this is a little bit what I already explained, that you will have this. So we have the introduction and assessment, the acceleration in terms of the business component, and then the carbon farming and connection with experts. On top of this, apart from the sessions, we will customize and connect you with the range of partners that we have from the consortium and beyond, that once we do an assessment of what are your needs and with whom it would be best for you to connect, we can arrange connections with these people to customize and to offer you the most specialized and best connections for your program specifically. And last, what are we expecting from you? Not the basics. We're expecting that you participate, that you attend, that you are active, that there is a lot through the acceleration program. A lot depends on you. So the more, not in terms that it's mandatory, but there is a lot of sessions that are where you will have to send your plans, your business plans, your financial plans, etc., and they will assess them and help you specifically with your plans. So there is a small component of theory, but most of it is working on your specific cases and your plan. So it depends on you how much you want to take out of these sessions. Also, that you communicate transparently, that you let us in order to conduct the assessment, you are honest and we extract the most real information in order to support and customize the program the best for you. And you also engage with your partners and in the cohort, and you collaborate. There is a lot of interesting synergies that we have seen through in previous cohorts where there are projects that have interesting connections and that can collaborate. So also be open for that and yeah, and then celebrate the outcomes, of course. Um, and just the timeline. We are in March 12th. We are closing the application program. By April 13th, we should have already the selections of the participants, and the program will start in April 15th. And we're expecting it to conclude. I mean, it's quite I don't know if to say quite dense, but expect more or less 2 sessions per week during this period. Usually we do them around midday. This can be adapted, but usually we're doing it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the acceleration will conclude in June, and the demo day will be around July the 2nd. All right. And just for you to see a little bit of the numbers of previous cohorts, we already engaged 26 startups and 6 funds and seed funds and investment agencies. 28 experts have already collaborated. There's been 8 collective meetups, inspirational talks, progress, pitching, demo days, etc. Some of them actually will grow because the cohort 3 it's already ongoing. And yeah, and the every participant organization is receiving over 1,500, I mean, 15 hours of individual consultation and program. And that's it from my part. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, I think right now is the moment to go on for it.
Not quite actually, Mikael. I still have Anna on the
Oh, sorry.
presentation, and then we can have all the questions.
Okay, I'm sorry, Anna.
So
Totally fine. Yeah.
let me stop sharing here.
Yes. So good morning, everyone. Let me just share my screen. Just a second, please. Can you confirm, please, if you can see my screen?
Not quite yet.
Is it loading or?
It's loading.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll start by presenting myself. I'm Ana Melo. I'm here as F6S, as part of the team from F6S. Our role in this project is not only to be the heads of the community engagement for the project, so stakeholder engagement for the project, but also to manage the open calls. And obviously that is what brings us here today. So hoping that you can already see my screen.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so what I'm showing now is what I will show you now is the process for applying. So this is going to be a 2-minute presentation. But just the first thing that you should do to apply is to check the guidelines for applicants. So this is a document that gives you all the information that you should have on your side before applying, just for you to know what we are expecting from your side, how you will be evaluated, what are the criteria for that evaluation. And you can find these guidelines in our website. So this is the website, innoforcfis.eu. And if you click here in open calls, you will jump to the landing page of the open calls, which has the landing page itself, a lot of information, but the most relevant points are the application button, we will go there in a second, and the guideline for applicants. So if you click in the guideline for applicants, you will be shown this, this PDF, which is a quite long PDF, but it is long because we need to make sure that you have all the information that you need. In any case, it has, let me go to the table of contents, the overview of the project, which was just about this opportunity, the eligibility criteria, all the process that will take place from application until to the selection. And it's all explained here, including the eligibility criteria, evaluation criteria. You also have this kind of a framework for ethical issues and data protection, which are obviously very important. And you have a description of what we expect to be the priority technologies, which, as was presented before, are the carbon farming related ones. So this is described in this annex number 1. I'm not sure if Mikael told you, but in order to participate, you need to declare that you want to participate, obviously after being selected by us. And you need to sign this participation agreement, which the template is also included in the guidelines. So this is an important document that we advise you to read prior to submitting your application. Also, because the best you know this document, the more you know about the program and the more you know about how you're going to be evaluated. So the best you can adapt your application form to correspond to the expectations. So going back to the landing page, and I hope you can see it again, if you click the apply button, you will jump to F-Success's platform that I will also show you now. So this is the landing page for the form that you need to fulfill to apply for this opportunity. You first have to put in some basic information about your company. If you are already registered in the F-Success platform, this will already be fulfilled for you. If you are not registered, the first thing that you need to do prior to apply is to register in the platform. But I can assure you that that takes less than a minute. So you just need to put your company's name and a very brief description, and you are on. So brief information about your company, then and information about your team. Obviously, I've created this company. It's not a real one. So this is information about myself as the only part of my team. And then there's the questions that you need to answer. And this is the part of the form that we are actually going to evaluate. So again, basic stuff about the company, the name, legal address, where are you settled, registered in which country. If you are a part of one of these regions, which are the least developed regions in Europe, you will be granted some extra points because the program is designed for that. VAT number, this is mandatory that you have a VAT number. So if you don't have it by the time you apply, unfortunately, we will not be able to consider you for this opportunity. And after you submit in this first section all the information about your company, you need to tell us about your solution. So short description, GreenTech solution, the category where you fit in, describe your operational details, the goals of your solution, the customers if you already have, or what are you planning for in terms of customers. Describe your business and financial sustainability, team and skill expertise, and the motivation. This is very important. These last 4 points are actually the ones that are going to be fully evaluated. Then we advise that you include some information about your solution, something that you can share with us, either a video that you have made to promote it or some kind of PowerPoint or something. You can either upload the video or put the link here. And for the section number 3, you need to tell us about your TRL level. So your TRL. We are only moving forward with solutions that are TRL 6 to TRL 9. And you need to give us the evidence of the declaration that you do in question number 28. So if you declare that you are TRL7, you should give us the evidence for that. And this is an eligibility criteria. So this will be from start checked by our team. And if the evidence is not there to support the declared TRL, then you will be excluded from the project. And finally, some requirements in terms of if you want to keep being informed and that you actually accept the conditions. Information for us, important for us. How did you find out a bit about this proposal and all that? And then when you are done, and when I mean done, you actually have to fulfill all the mandatory questions, which are the ones that have a star in the end. You click connect to Anna, Philippe, and Mikel, which is submitting the blue button means that you are submitting your proposal. And we get it on our side. And so this is the process. I hope it was clear. I can tell you that it's very it's simple and it's not it doesn't take a lot of time to fulfill this form. This is the feedback that we have from previous participants. All the texts are limited in terms of characters, and the characters are short numbers. So it doesn't take too long to give us all the information and submit your proposal. So we hope you do that. And I give the floor back to Felipe to manage any questions that you might have. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for explaining the process. So we do have a couple of questions. So the first question I'm going to answer directly, which is it open for companies outside the EU? No, unfortunately, it's only for EU member states. Now, for the second question, I'm going to address our speakers. So we have Curiapp as a startup verticalizing end-to-end fragmented agriculture value chain and building an integrated, intelligent, traceable, and automated systems. It is gardener-centric model to increase the income. Question is, Curiapp currently developing a carbon trade through optimization of farmer resources while provide free of cost remote sensing capabilities, but our TRL here could kit be more than 4 or 5. Are we able to participate?
Sure. This is so far. I would say yes. I would apply. I don't think it would be a priority. I mean, Anna, I also leave the floor to you to address this. We have certain companies that are exactly on that kind of that are participating where they are already up and running companies and they are launching new products that go into that line. And so I will leave also Anna to reply. Right now, we do have some. Well, I'm not sure Anna is.
Mm,
Michael,
yeah.
isn't it that if the overall business model is a live prototype and up and running and just one component is not TRL6, it's a different point than if the entire business model depends on the component which is not ready. So maybe it's a question of, is the overall business more advanced or is it just one component which is lacking? That's how I understood it in the past.
This is how it's running there, yeah.
I hope this question was answered. So the other question we have is my startup from India, and we have developed a proprietary recycling technology for composite materials. We can apply. So Ritesh, if your startup's not based in a EU member state, no, unfortunately, you cannot apply. Do we have any other questions for the moment? Or any other clarification the speakers would like to give?
Philippe, maybe just to clarify on your answers, if you have a subsidiary in Europe, it makes a difference. It doesn't have to be headquartered in Europe. That's how I understood in the past, isn't it?
We also have the case we have several of these cases actually in the previous cohorts.
Yeah.
It appears we have no other questions for the moment. Oh, okay. So from QREP Global, we had a counter answer. So it's thanks for the answer. We have huge traction and at tier level 7. So I suppose, yes, one more question. So we have many questions here. Okay, a clarification from QREP Global. We have huge traction and at tier level 7, but in carbon trading, it's only 405. Okay. And we also have another question from Ange Bois. The winner is awarded with 15 hours of consultancy.
There are no winners. Those selected will participate in the selection program, and everyone gets this 15 hours of consultancy or participation in the acceleration program. And that's it. Then it's no competition. It's just the program.
And is it awarded with financial incomes?
No, it's not a work. That is not a financial income. Although we conclude with a demo day in front of investors, and you're going to connect with investors. So there might be a chance for engaging into a conversation in this sense if this is what you're aiming for.
Good. Good. Any other questions from the audience? Any other clarification from the speakers you'd like to give before we close the session then? Well, in this case, yeah.
But I hope that everyone participates.
Wonderful, Mikhail. Yes, indeed. In that case, well, thank you all for joining the webinar. We hope to see your applications into our platform. And please leave a comment with any questions you might have on the platform as well. We'll be pleased to answer them uh, as long as we see them. Thank you and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Goodbye.